People are always frightened of what they don't understand.
It affects 1% of global population, and yet no one understands it. Autism is worldwide news regularly, and yet people remain uninformed and ignorant about the condition.
Without a doubt in my mind, I believe vaccinations triggered Evan's autism.
You have been able to say that your son is healed from autism. That is also something that the medical community says is not necessarily possible.
MMR vaccination rates here plummeted, and the number of measles cases soared.
And then he gets dragged from class repeatedly.
It's just normal to me.
Jacob O'Leary experiences this every day, and yet his condition prevents him from physically telling his story himself. Through this film, Jacob will finally be able to speak out.
I'm autistic and I have Asperger's. I feel normal, but other people don't see it that way.
Autism is a spectrum disorder, which means that autistic people are affected differently. Each person will have different triggers, different reactions, depending on how far they are on the spectrum.
Jacob's behaviour is situation specific, so it depends on every day. What happens in that day, who he sees, who he meets, how they are with him, what he has to do, all affects his behaviour. He wants to be friends, he likes to be friendly, but he knows that he's different because of the way people react to him, so he finds it difficult to build friendships, so he doesn't have a social life. Every kid wants to be popular, every kid wants to be liked, and if you don't know what's wrong with you, but you know there's something wrong and they won't tell you what it is, you can't correct it, then you're always on the outside looking in. And that's Jacob, is always on the outside looking in, wanting to join in but not knowing how. He was left out when his group of peers were doing things like plays or had birthday parties or playtime in the playground. He wouldn't be included unless they played Piggy in the Middle, when he was always the one in the middle.
One of the biggest challenges Jacob's condition causes is when he is overwhelmed by sensory messages, causing what is called a meltdown.
Well, there are signs of having a meltdown for certain people. My one's is if I'm flustered and don't respond to people. In my way of it, if I'm having a meltdown, it's best just leave me alone until I calm down.
He withdraws, and his way of withdrawing is to shut down, so he will literally put up his hood and he will hide his face and he'll rock backwards and forwards and he will go into a little quiet mode and he won't come out, he won't look at you, he won't talk to you, he won't communicate with you at all. That's a quiet meltdown. If he's really stressed because he can't handle where he's at, he will lash out. If he can't leave where he is and move away, go out of the room, go somewhere else, then he will lash out to help him get away.
If you keep saying, "Are you okay? Are you fine? Do you need to step up?" You're just only making it worse. All I need is just quiet.
We tried flexi-schooling, which is where he goes in for certain lessons that he thought he could cope with, and then the idea being to build up to a full day again. But unfortunately the school didn't know how to manage him, and he was unhappy at the school. He was being constantly bullied and distressed, and it got to the point we couldn't even fill in a simple blank space for a word in a sentence.
The staff at Glebe did not solve Jacob's bullying issue, instead they contributed. The headmaster in particular used to stand over Jacob and screech at him for disobeying his orders for Jacob to do work that he just did not understand. Jacob had to be collected from school regularly after having meltdowns due to the environment around him.
Glebe, it wasn't really fun there. I only had one friend there, but he was kind of like me but didn't have autism. But I was more of an oddball there at the time, and a couple of these other kids didn't really like it, and they then decided to pick on me because I was different.
But he just got so stressed at the whole thought of school, he'd have a massive meltdown, so we ended up having to take him out completely and had to school him at home. With the right teachers, the right amount of patience and a little bit of understanding, the difference is day and night.
Jacob was homeschooled for 5 years by his mum. She had to repair the damage caused by his traumatic experiences at school before he finally began to feel confident enough to attend college on a specialist course for autistic children.
And so they understand the condition better. They understand how to work with him rather than against him. They build him up rather than knock him down.
At college, Jacob is given the support he needs to flourish with teachers who treat him like everyone else instead of being the odd one out. His peers are also autistic, so he finally has friends who truly understand him.
And then at college, I'm on my own, making friends, leaving an imprint there, and I'm happy to have spent a year there.
To me, autism is just a little extra you. So, I believe that I got more of me inside a normal person.
We used to play in the fields, make our own cardboard shields.